my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Salute, salute, salute. It's your boy, Brandon Jones, also known as Universal Jones on the internets, the YouTube streets, and all those good things. We're having an impromptu live stream tonight. We're going to talk about parasocial relationships. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that have been going on in these social media spheres over the last few weeks. We'll see how much. I do have some videos to respond to, but we'll see how much we get into the content. I will have a co-host with me tonight. At some point, they will pop up. She will pop up. We'll see what happens. Salute to John Galt, a.k.a. the Urban Landlord, a.k.a. that nigga John Galt. John has been on a tear over the last 2 weeks. Part inspiration to this stream, to be honest, because I think John ruffled a lot of feathers. He definitely rocked a lot of cages and shook some people up where people decided to stop rocking with John because of the things that he was sharing and how he was delivering his message, which really did highlight where we are in today's world, where sometimes the messenger does play a significant role on the message and how the message is delivered, if people even hear it. And I think a lot of people miss what John was saying. So they decided to say, hey, you know, we're not rocking with him no more. He's a coon. And I know since I rock with John, I'm be guilty by association, man. It is what it is. People are going to make their decisions. And, you know, coons are coons, you know, hey, coons, we make money. We don't make friends. We tell the truth. We try to keep it objective as possible. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is, you know. Coons are coons. And when it comes to talking about culture, when it comes to talking about the things that the ethnic groups do, Black Americans versus non-Black Americans, you know, there's some truths that I think we have to be able to accept in order for ourselves to move forward. And a lot of people aren't willing to accept those things. And if you speak against the rhetoric or the common thought, the common thought process around being Black, you definitely end up getting booted out the group. So it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, I think that John did a very important thing by pointing out content and character. And I hope we start to change the narrative going into 2026 about content and character. Because at the end of the day, that's what's showing up. We've seen this in many different instances over the last few months, whether we want to talk about the Carmelo Anthony case. We can talk about the recent mass shooting that took place here in the Twin Cities. Content and character shows up, and at the end of the day, you may show up as a Black person or a non-Black person, whatever term you want to use, but your character will always show through. And there's a reason why people respond to people a specific way, and that's important. But that's not 100% of what tonight's about. Tonight's about parasocial relationships, and if you're not familiar with what parasocial relationships are, ultimately, in this digital world that we live in, this virtual world that we live in, it's these one-sided connections to people that are seen as like content creators, celebrities, influencers, etc., where they become idolized, and people start to build actual connections with these folks, emotional connections. They start to believe that they're in a relationship. Now, it might not be sexual in nature. It might not be like a quote unquote friendship like we would naturally think of one, but it's this emotional bond that people build with folks that they don't actually know. And it's fascinating how people respond. And when you decide to make shifts and changes in your mood or how you operate, those people respond to you as they've been hurt. Especially if you're making decisions that these people don't know, that they don't expect, right? They expect you to show up every day, go live, talk to them, engage with them in the comments, support them, shout them out when they support you, etc. But if you stop doing that for whatever reason, these people feel like you broke their heart, that you broke up with them, and it's fascinating. And I've seen this play over pretty significantly over the last few months. Um, and when my co-host comes, I'll be able to lean a little bit into her situation without getting too messy. But man, it's like, man, people really build these bonds and relationships with you. It's like, whoa, that's not what I expect. That's not what I thought we had going on here. But this is the new world where you spend a lot of time with people online, talking on Discord, connecting on social media, watching their content, engaging in the comments, etc. You start to actually build relationships with these people, and you don't really know their true lives. And if you did know the true lives, you might be surprised. But for the most part, you're building these relationships with these folks, and you are making up narratives of who and how they are supposed to be to you. But part of it is on the content creator. Let's be real about this, because the content creator puts out a vision. The content creator creates a narrative for the viewer to accept or to play with, right? The viewer may play with a narrative that's put out there, and they may think a specific thing. And until you really get to know these people offline, you really don't have a clue who they are. It's no strange for folks who've been engaging with me online. You may not be stranger to me. For my longtime viewers, this may be new information, but I've been navigating these YouTube streets for about a year now, and I've found myself in a couple different YouTube communities, and one of those communities is influenced by some folks who are called the Thorpes. I did a stream on these folks a few months back, reviewing one of the main Thorpes, which his name is Ben Thorpe. Salute him. And his mother wrote a book, and I covered a section of that book. I don't know if I'm going to return to that. I'm be completely honest, because I don't know if that's going to be healthy or not if I return to that. Because that community can get real toxic, and Brandon Jones is my real name, and I don't know how crazy I want stuff to go. Like, I'm not hard to find, I'm not hiding. I am who I am. You accept me for who you accept me to be. And I know that community, they are good at screwing people's lives up, and I don't know if I want to deal with that level of drama. So I don't know if I'm gonna return to that. But I will say this: what I've learned from that community of people, Ben Thorpe, Grace Thorpe, and an extension, we have Ruby Spacek and Ava the G and Hormaxer, who I'm learning more about, and this new guy. He's new to me. He's not new in this kind of context. Lalo, and these people, man, they are like in this weird codependent relationship with each other where they need each other for content. And it's just this non-stop trauma bond that goes on between these folks. And that's how I view it. I'm biased as well. Let me be completely honest. A dear friend of mine, she's found herself in kind of the midst of these situation with these folks where it burned her out. And maybe she'll tell more about her own story, but it got her to a point where she needed to take a break because it's just too much. It's just too much to deal with. And, as I see some of the things that have gone on recently, with this trauma bond, with this pair bonding, I'm like, man, this can't be healthy for these people. This cannot be healthy. Where I see people traveling across the country, get into arguments and fights with each other. It has to be problematic. I don't know what to say, but people build these online relationships, and these narratives get created, and then they start to enact these like stories. It's like we're on stage. And it is a fascinating concept and a fascinating situation. So we're going to get into that tonight. We will open up the panel. Oh, yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, I'm in the middle of a fantasy football draft. My team's looking pretty stellar. I might put that on the screen here in a moment. But yeah, we're definitely going to get into it. We're going to definitely get into it here in a moment. Give me 1 second. Let me draft my 2 players, because I had the first pick in the draft, which means I go back to back. Let's see. I'm gonna go with motherfucking there we go. All right. I see a lovely young lady in the back. Salute to Urban and Urban Podcast. Man, you've been killing it, by the way, Urban. I've been checking out some of your content, man. I hope to at some point link up with you and do some sort of panel conversation because man, you've been on point, pointing out a lot of the things that are going on. Urban, if you do fantasy football, I mean it's kind of late in the game, but if y'all have a spot in the league, especially if it's a money league, count me in. I am definitely down. I'm already in 4 leagues now. I could probably do about 1 or 2 more. I'm a serious fantasy football player, by the way. So if you're gonna play, if you invite me to the league, I'm gonna be about it. I'm gonna be about winning because I typically get some money. Salute to Nini. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming back. I'm still waiting on that email, Nini. I didn't forget. I know you want to talk about relationships and black folks and black women. I know you want to talk about it, Nini. Hit me up. And salute to John Galt, aka the Urban Landlord, and Lionel, of course. Salute to Lionel. All right, I'm gonna bring up. I don't even know how to introduce this young woman.
Man, just bring me up.
And then she got rude and brought herself up, which I don't like all that.
No,
I don't like all that control and that power. What the fuck? Hey, don't be trying to use that pretty privilege over here. I'm still
What's
a man.
up, Universal?
What's up with you?
Not shit. Living my best life, honestly. What's up with you? How are you?
Oh, I'm just trying to be a part of your best life. What's up?
Okay, so I thought we were talking about parasocial relationships today.
Well,
sir.
Some people would say that me and you have a parasocial relationship. What would you say about that?
I probably wouldn't agree with that just because, I feel like there's the difference between real friendships, obviously, and like just strictly online and social relationships.
Mhm.
And if we go like, if we talk a decent amount or, we get in contact with each other outside of like the main platforms, I would say, that's like the difference, I guess.
Okay. They want to know why you look so bothered in your profile picture. Tell us about your image that you chose, your anime image here.
I actually have not seen that anime. It's in my list. I just personally look like the character, and this was one of my favorite scenes of the pictures, like, out of the anime. So I chose this one. It looks bothered because most of the time I am bothered, I'm not gonna lie. Not like by like people or anything, but just like in general,
by life.
Yeah, exactly. Like life is just something else, man. I swear.
All right. For folks who don't know, this is the lovely Lola, as they call her on the YouTubes. Lola.
What's up, Universal's chat? I hope everyone's well and amazing tonight. Make sure you guys like the video and share it out to your little discords and your friends. We're trying to
discords. Hey, don't be shitting on my audience. My audience ain't got little discords.
I always say little. It wasn't disrespectful, I swear.
Yeah.
What was I about to say though? Yeah, we're just trying to have a good panel, regular conversations. Of course, we're going to be talking about his topic, but I told Universal, like, I'm just trying to have one of them good, Saturday night panels where we're just laughing, getting high. I mean, me, definitely, but stupid shit.
I don't get high. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I'm saying, me.
You are the heathen. I'm a good boy.
I mean, I can agree with that, I guess.
Oh, you got pat me on my head.
Okay. Anyway.
Just rub my back.
One thing I did, I was like listening in before I joined. I said I definitely wanted to agree with your point that you made with me being, intercepted in the midst of situations online. It definitely has burnt me out. And yeah, I don't honestly know how people are streamers. Like, it's a lot.
Why is it a lot? Tell us more. Why do you feel like it's from your standpoint?
Because like, okay, yes, once you do get started, things do get easier because, you always just have that block in your head that makes you just think everything's going to be harder than what it really is. And you get past that. But then, as you're sitting there, like, I can definitely remember before I became a streamer, I thought that, it would be hard, but ultimately, you just get on camera, do your thing, whatever. But being a host of a show is a lot of stress, because you feel like obviously you do have to run things, you have to manage things. So that's a lot on its own. Coming up with topics, things to talk about, being a good conversationalist, always keeping the conversation flowing. I mean, I just might be an overwhelmed person a lot. So like I might also just sound like I'm complaining for sure. But at the same time, it does get overwhelming. And I don't know how people kind of just keep up unless you have like an absolute, somebody or everyone loves this topic and that's what you're going to talk about every day. Like we could take CT, for example, like a lot of people like hearing that stuff and that's understandable. But a lot of stuff that people talk about on the internet, it's not that like, what's the word I'm thinking of? I don't know, important, I guess. And I forget what I was saying. I don't know. I'm already high, sorry.
Well, slow down with the blizzies, okay? Are we gonna do 2 or 3 blizzes? What are we doing tonight?
Well, what's crazy is I switched over to joints.
Oh, you finally come over to the good side.
I've smoked them before, but at the same time, I was always just one of those people who said that they burn too fast. But it really just depends on how much you break up the weed and how you roll it. And since I'm a good roller all around, I learned how to, make my little sticks or whatever. And now we're good.
See, I knew it. It just took a little time with you, and you come over to the universal side of things. Trust universe, believe in universe.
And they're healthier for you, if we're being honest.
Oh, there it is. And your lips don't get all fucking black, and you light skin, so you don't need your lips to be all dark.
Yeah. Urban says universal solo made you late for your show, just like a woman. I guess you could say that, Urban. Like, he probably would have just started it way earlier, but like I was laying in bed and I wasn't prepared. So,
like a woman.
I'm just a girl. Like, what do you expect me to do?
She's got pretty privilege, Urban. I'm a black male simp, man. Listen, she pulled that hair out that ponytail. She put that smile, glazing them eyes, and I just do whatever she told me to do, Urban. Just like a woman.
Just like a woman is crazy. That sounds like a dog.
You know what to say to Urban? Sometimes she calls me universal. Sometimes she calls me Brandy. Depends on what she wants. It is what it is. Right?
Anyways, let's get back to this parasocial relationship.
I love you too. All right. So parasocial relationships. Give me your definition or your thought when you hear the term parasocial relationships. What does that mean to you?
I mean, honestly, I never even knew that term, period. I didn't even know it existed until I got on the internet and just heard it a few months ago. So to me, like, I can't even really give you a definition of like what it would mean to me because, like I said, just a few months ago, I just learned what the word was. So
he said, "Damn, bro, dang, bro, she groomed you too." That's why I'm here. Free my brother. Hey, man, you gotta have some good warlock witchcraft going on. This is a powerful woman here. This is a young, tight-bodied, light-skinned
woman. Why do you gotta say it like that? That sounds weird.
Why does that sound weird? Okay, nice body. The body's nice.
Ew, I still look at myself like a kid, so that's weird in my head.
No, don't say that. Whoa. I'll get you out of here. What?
Calm down. Not like that.
Calm down.
Like universal, you know me. Listen, if I could stay a kid, I would definitely not stay a kid. But if I could just always, have the mindset of a kid, I probably would.
No, we're getting you out of here. What? No. Slow down. You are a grown ass woman.
Unfortunately, yeah.
You don't want to be a grown ass woman. You rather be taken care of, but that's a whole nother conversation.
It's not even that. I mean, I don't know. I just wish I was like a bird or something. Or a cat.
The weirdness of you is cute. I can't say that. Oh, yeah, we don't play with birds or cats. That's called bestiality, and that will get your channel.
See, then why are you're the one thinking like that? That was nasty. You don't do that.
No, never mind. You created this.
Nobody even said that. Nobody said that. That's what your mind was.
I wish I was a bird or a cat. So and you think birds or cats don't have responsibility in life? Come on.
I mean, they got their natural, instincts and desires, like to peck and eat worms.
And so do you.
Cool.
You like to roll over and get your belly scratched.
Life is much more complex than a bird. I can guarantee you that. What?
You heard what I said.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Now
I'm gonna
you
get on.
tell
I'm
me
gonna
what
get
your
to it. I know
you tell me what your definition of a parasocial relationship is. How about that?
my definition.
Yeah, when you look at it, don't give me like the out of the dictionary. Give me your definition.
Yeah, my definition is pretty much like a one-sided relationship that a subscriber, follower, fan, I'll just use those as three terms, builds with a person who is a media figure. They might not be a celebrity, they might not be well known, but this person is a streamer, a podcaster, an influencer, a content creator. So it's pretty much a one-sided relationship. It's an emotional bond that an individual builds with this person that's one-sided. That's how I look at it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like when I look at you, like you've had some pretty accelerated growth um in the last well, we'll say since the beginning of this year on YouTube. And you have people who have built parasocial relationships with you, I would say. Um, we've had
I
an
can say that.
we've
We've
had
had
an
yeah, no,
individual.
we've had a
Go ahead.
few experiences for sure.
And in those relationships, I would say a lot of them, you from what I know, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. Some of them have gotten to a point where you're like, what does this mean? Like, what is this? I don't understand what this person wants from me, right?
Yes, to a point, I would say for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's what a parasocial relationship is. And I think what has happened is society has created these situations because we are in a space where people do not connect in person as much as they probably should.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have things like clubs like we used to back in the day. There's a book called Bowling Alone. Have you ever heard of this book by Robert Putnam?
No.
So that book I think came out like the same year you were born. We're not going to identify those 2 years, but we're just going to say this:
You
the
just said
book.
the name of the book.
Well, they can Google it and they can figure out when that book came out.
Yeah, good job.
What to say?
Anyway.
The Patriots won the Super Bowl and 9/11 happened. Anyway,
Anyways. Go
so
ahead.
Robert Putnam wrote this book. Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna get to that question in a second. It's called Bowling Alone, and ultimately, this book started to look at this phenomenon of how people started to become less social in person. And what Dr. Putnam looked at was the disappearance of social clubs. So I'm gonna attack your age because you like to attack mine. So there used to be like a lot of social clubs back in the day, 25 years ago, we'll say, where people would get together. They might be bowling clubs, they might be like the Rotary clubs, they might have like women would get together, they have like the knitting club of whatever city, we'll say Charlotte. But they would have these social clubs where people would get together around causes or interest or whatever the case may be, and those have started to disappear over time. And what he noticed back in 2020 and early 2020s was that it's important, not the early 2020s, the early 2000s, is that we need to learn how to be connected. And he was seeing how this internet thing is created. We had things like MySpace, and people started to connect with each other online, instant messenger, all these things. And they started to create these profiles and they started to create these identities online that they didn't always match who they were in person. And if you fast forward to where we are, 20, I would say 25 years later, here we are at a place in space where we've had a pandemic where we were forced to do life virtually. Even though it was already here, it forced us to all participate at the same time. And now you have a generation or two where their whole life is generated through some online engagement. And you have people who don't know how to talk to each other. You have people who don't know how to engage in person. Honestly, I think we're going to have a set of young people, kids who started like kindergarten during the pandemic online. Those kids are going to be cooked, bro. Those
Oh
kids are
no,
about to
I
be
think
in the
that's what I was
fourth and
thinking
fifth
about.
grade.
I was thinking about that as soon as you said, or you just started explaining it. But my nephew,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like 10, 11, or 12 years old or something. But
Yep.
he had, you know, came over the whole summer and like stayed with me. So I got to observe him, I would say, obviously, a majority of the time. And just seeing him, like, let's say on the phone or just on the game, talking to his friends, talking to even, you know, his family, it was so much
Yep.
different than what he actually was like in person. Like, if we went out to dinner with him, he'd be like slunched over at the table, not knowing what to say, all awkward. And it just showed you how much, like, not only kids, like, you know, there's a lot of people, obviously people my age that are obsessed with their phones, but they don't know how to be social. They don't know, like, they're going to be awkward when it comes to real life engagement. And it was just a shocker because I feel like, you know, I might be whatever age I am, but ultimately I
It's a good
still
thing.
grew up in a decent age where, you know, my parents didn't give me a phone until, like, I didn't get my first iPhone or my first, like, touchscreen phone until I was, like, 14 or 15 years old. So, I just, you
Even
know, I couldn't even relate, you know what I mean? And I know how to actually conversate with people and, you know, talk to people in real life. But it's very weird seeing people like that, but at the same time, that, like you said, that's the generation that, you know, kids and people are growing up in with the technology nowadays. So, I don't know.
even that statement you just made identifies as you're super young. I didn't get my first touch screen phone until blah blah blah.
Well,
Like,
I had, like, you little fucking razor phones and flip phones
yeah,
and shit,
I
of
got
course,
you.
you know, whatever, but kids, I mean, I feel like when did the first iPhone come out? I remember, like, just kids having that, like, as I grew up, and they would be, like, trying to, like, rub it in other kids' faces who didn't have, you know, a
Yeah.
touchscreen phone or any type of, you know, whatever. It didn't even matter if it was Android, and it was just so confusing because 'cause I'm like, even when I did eventually get a phone, I'm like, "There's nothing too crazy about this." Like, you can call and text people cool and, like, what, social media? I don't know, I've never just been that type of person to be like, "Oh, obsessed with Instagram or Snapchat," or anything like that, so I don't know.
Oh, you know, you barely text me. You barely text people, grandma. So
Oh, no,
now
I don't even call my mom back. I can't even help it at this
you
point.
gotta call mama back. Don't be like that.
Well, I see her a decent amount, so I don't have to call her back, but even just, like, I don't know, like, it's not that I don't want to talk to people and have conversations, but I just get so out of energy so quick just even by, like, the daily stuff that I do, so by the time, oh, I can sit down and talk, I'm gonna watch my show, I'm gonna go to being an old woman. Because what's crazy is you called me an old woman before, you know, when we were talking earlier, and that's the second time someone said that to me today. My one friend that I was telling you about, like, they called me an old woman too because they were like, "Oh, you're not gonna come out?" And I'm like, "No." I'm laying in bed. I already ordered food. So, like, you know, I'm getting ready to cozy myself in. And they're like, "You're such an old ass." I was like, "I can't help it."
Are you wearing a muumuu?
No, I'm wearing sweatpants and just a
Oh,
t-shirt.
you gotta put the sexy muumuu on. What the fuck? Anyway,
Nah, I'm not that old yet.
so anyway, so I would say this. I would say your generation has really kicked off this parasocial thing. But over the last few months and just my observation of YouTube, it's not just your generation. It's pretty much anybody who's engaging on the internet on a consistent basis. These people really start building relationships. And I honestly think that people have more parasocial friendships than they actually have friendships. I think that they have
Yeah,
more
that's
people.
true.
Like,
Mhm.
easy. Like, I look at just some of the engagement, just let's use Discord. I look at some of the things that have happened on Discord over the last few months with people, and it's like, man, these people spend a lot of time on Discord. I feel like I spend a lot of time, and I'm not on there half as a lot of other people. And it's like, man, like, these people really have expectations of individuals just because of what you say in a thread or a chat or what you share. Like, they really build a relationship with you. It's
Yeah,
fascinating.
and that's what kind of made me just stop saying stuff altogether because I'm like, I don't like knowing that people have expectations because it's not that I can't live up to them, but especially like you said, over the line, like I have stuff that I'm doing in my real life, so there's just no point in me saying anything anymore because who knows what will really happen? Like anything could pop up in your real life where you gotta take a day away from streaming, and I don't know, people just act like that's the end of the world.
Mm, mm.
But I feel
So
it
how
because, like, I feel like it's the end of the world over small shit too, so can't even be mad at him.
you always give people an out? just stick to you.
What?
Well, I
That's
do it
not me
too.
leaving
So
people
I'll say
out,
that.
but it's like I really do feel like just anything. I don't know, like even though, I might not be quick to anger or shit like that, and I just see people like let's take the Ruby situation for instance. Like
Uh-oh.
I even though, obviously I completely disagree with, someone resorting to like violence, of course, but like seeing the triggers and like what people do to get someone to that step, like it's valid 100%.
Mm.
So I don't know. There's a lot of emotions that people have that are very relatable and very understandable, but you have to have more self-control over yourself. So
Mm. And for folks who don't know who Ruby is, she's a YouTube content creator, and I think she either is currently in Vegas or she might be on her way home at this point. But there was an in real life or IRL meetup that took place over the last few days, and she ended up quote unquote attacking an individual who was there a couple times because of some of the things he said. Now, these two people, I don't know if they've met each other in person before, but this might
I
have
know,
been
I
their
think this
first.
is their first time meeting.
Okay, but they've known each other for a couple years now, or at least a year, where they've interacted online. They've created these emotional bonds, and then they finally get together, and some words are shared, and they trigger emotions, and boom, people are getting attacked. Folks are calling
Mhm.
the police, and it's just all messy. It's just all messy. But
That's
that's
what I'm saying,
it
like, I
happens.
definitely agree that emotions are valid, but we gotta how to learn, especially at, like, our big ages, and, most people on the internet are usually older than me, so especially at
Yeah.
people's big age, we gotta learn how to have some self-control and get our emotions together, folks.
All right, I want to share a video on parasocial relationships. It's about 3.5 minutes, and we're gonna check it out real quick, and then I would love to get your response. It's gonna give you just more insight on what a parasocial relationship is, versus what I think it is. This is someone else's perspective. So here's the video clip.
If you've ever watched a YouTube video or a Twitch stream or even a film by Johnny Sins, there's probably a chance you've thought to yourself, I think I could be really good friends with this person. I think I could grab a beer with this person, talk about some deep topics, and become best friends with them forever. Well, then you've experienced a parasocial relationship. A parasocial relationship is basically a one-sided relationship where one person feels like they know someone well, and sometimes they feel as if they are actually friends with that person, but the other person doesn't know the difference between you and a hole in the wall. And in all likelihood,
Ugh.
there's a fair chance that they'd rather become friends with the hole in the wall. Now, as someone who consumes a ton of YouTube content,
You wanted me
Mhm.
to stop it? What's up?
No, I was just laughing, like, he was like,
Oh,
"He doesn't know the difference between you and a hole in the wall."
it's true. It's fucking true. All right, here we go.
I've obviously formed a lot of parasocial relationships with people that I watch. And I think it's normal to have that sort of feeling because that's basically what someone who is a personality is. It's someone who you think you could be friends with and they profit off of that. It's only a bad thing if you start stalking where they live and try to cut them to wear their skin. As long as you're not doing that, I think you're in a pretty good spot on the parasocial scale. Now, I've been lucky enough to have some of my parasocial relationships turn into actual real friendships. Having experienced that, it puts my mind in a weird spot where it's like, okay, if these people became my friends, maybe everyone I watch can become my friend. Now, in most cases of me having met YouTubers, it usually doesn't go that way. We usually don't become friends. Like when I met Michael Reeves at VidCon, I just stood next to him for like 3 minutes until he finished talking to someone. And then I was like, uh, uh, can I take a picture? Can I take a picture with fuck, this is stupid. This was a dumb idea. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. And that's how most of my interactions have gone, which is now why whenever I see a YouTuber I'm a fan of in public, I just completely ignore them so I save myself the embarrassment. And that's what I did with Matt Pat. I was walking around LA probably a little less than a year ago, and walking towards me was a guy along with the guy that looked like Matt Pat. So I started looking at him like, is that Matt Pat? It might be, but I can't really tell. And then when I realized that it was Matt Pat, I just started aggressively staring at him because I'm trying to figure out in my head, do I say hi and possibly look like an idiot, or do I ignore him and keep my dignity? So I'm staring at him trying to decide what to do. And he notices obviously because my pupils were probably the size of a golf ball, and I decided to not say anything. But then once he walked past me, I turned my head around just to make sure that it was Matt Pat. And it was, and he turned his head around, obviously knowing that I wanted to say hi and kind of giving me a look being like, it's not too late, you can still say hi. But I just turned around and I kept walking, and I was like, you know what, brain, you made the right decision. Now, fast forward a few months later, and I run into him at Creator Clash 2, which if you watch my videos, you'll know that I got beat up by Crash Bandicoot at Creator Clash 2, but I was at like the backstage area of the arena where all the creators were hanging out at, and I saw MatPat there talking to another YouTuber, and I was like, what do I do in this situation? And what I did was I walked up to him, I stared at him for like 30 seconds, and then I walked away. Now, granted, in this situation, I had been drinking, but it was still probably the worst thing I could have done. But the reason that I'm making this video is because in MatPat's quitting video, he said that every time he's met a fan, he felt honored. And I watched that and I thought to myself, I could have honored MatPat, but I didn't. I didn't honor him. I'm sorry, MatPat. I dishonored you. I dishonored you. So that's been my experience with parasocial relationships. Let me know in the comments if you've ever met someone you're a fan of before and how that went. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And as always,
So there you go, a little insight on a parasocial relationship. Any thoughts from the clip?
I mean, that was basically what you described. So
Because I'm smart.
yeah, it reminded me of a few different things off online.
Any involving yourself?
No.
That's a lie. All right.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have a question for you.
What's that?
Do you think, is there anyone out there that you may have a parasocial relationship with from your perspective?
I mean, probably, but there's probably more of them that I don't know about than some that I might think. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like people watch you and, you know, like I said, they'll think they know you more, but just from my end, you know, I'm just streaming. So
You can't think of one person that you would like, let's say you met them in person and you were just kind of like starstruck, like, oh my God, that's so and so.
oh, you're asking if I have one?
Yeah, you.
I don't really watch anybody.
You can't choose an anime character. This has to be real people.
I was about to say, I mean, there's some people obviously like, oh, if we're talking about Steven Universe, they're the creator, Rebecca Sugar, and like, would I want to meet her? Yeah, but like some of the stuff that they explained or definition of a parasocial, like, do I think I know these people more than I actually do? No, there's no one out there that, you know, I have that type of parasocial relationship with where I'm like obsessed with them low key and, you know, thinking that I know them and so on, so on. So probably not. It's a good question though.
Interesting.
I mean, do you have one?
I can't think of a urban paddle in your own stream, sir. Paddle in your own stream. Stay out of my pool, brother. Might as well. Do I have one? I know somebody you would say I have one for, but it's not true. You know who I'm talking about too.
Yeah, that as soon as you said it.
Yeah, I don't think so. Honestly, I can't think of. There's like celebrities that I would want to meet and have conversations with, but I don't think I would be starstruck like that. I don't think so.
Yeah, like awing over them and like you already know like everything they've already said on the internet and shit. No,
Yeah, I feel like we're friends. Like, oh, what's up?
Yeah,
man?
like what's up, friend? Like you don't know me, but I know you. Yeah, I couldn't do that to anybody.
Like this is gonna sound crazy, but I would love to have a conversation with Kanye West. But I would never be like,
honestly, me too. I don't like. It's not. I think him as a person is probably actually a really great person. I just don't, you know, I don't listen to rap music in general, so
That's a
he's
lie.
especially out of the loop.
You barely listen to rap music.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, I feel that he would be an interesting person for sure to have a conversation with.
And like,
But I'm asking him all about the elite shit. I'm about to be like, what'd they do to you, Kanye?
who did you have to bend over for? Well, hey, yo.
Facts. I'm gonna be like, bro, like I'm gonna tell him like, please get your kids out of there, bro, because that's my only motto of life. Like, you know, earthly wise, obviously, like just save the children because the world is fucked up for them out here.
Have you seen Northwest lately?
Yes.
Did you see? She went not viral, but she got some attention for something. What was she dancing or something?
No,
Recently.
just the way she was dressed, probably, because I seen that shit.
How was she dressed? What happened?
I mean, me personally, she is 12 years old, and it's not that she was dressed like, oh, she had a lot showing. She really only had her legs out, not like her full legs, but just in a dress that's poofy and like wedge boots and things like that. So I don't know, like me personally, I wouldn't let my kid wear that if I had a 12-year-old, but at the same time, it's not like, oh, would make any exceptions for that. I'm just trying to think of just in like Kim Kardashian's shoes. She's obviously been famous her whole life. Her children are going to be famous their whole lives. And that is like what's trending nowadays. That's how kids dress nowadays. And like people who live their life like that for the spotlight, of course, they're going to fall into those categories. So, I mean, it's not that I just like, I have nothing to say, I guess. Like, I wouldn't do it, but hey, no judgment over here, girl.
Mm. And gentlemen in the chat, that's how you finesse your way out of an answer. She asked me a question, didn't realize I never answered it. And
Oh
she
yeah,
still now she caught it. Look at that.
so who
What?
who's yours?
Hoorah. You.
You're such a fucking lie.
It's you.
It probably
You're-
would be like Kalani or something. I don't even fucking know.
Oh, she's fucking fired.
See, look at
Good
you.
guess.
Look at
Good
you.
guess. What
That
made you
is a
think I
good
would like a
guess.
Kalani?
I've never even heard you mention her, but like that just seems like your type of girl. I don't know.
Why would you think that?
Just cause I don't know. Like I feel like that's like a universal attractiveness or attractive girl to me personally. Like I feel like nobody could ever say she's ugly because like she's very pretty. I mean, obviously everyone has their own looks and what they're attracted to, but there are some people that's just undeniably pretty, and she's one of them for sure.
Yeah, Kalani's fire. I can't. I wish she did not get the BBW though. That I would.
What the fuck reflection is Urban talking about?
Just relax, J.O. Calm down.
Don't start with me, Universal's chat, because
I didn't do nothing. I didn't write the. I didn't write the comment.
Universal's chat.
I didn't write the comment. Yeah. See. Damn.
What?
Oh man. No comment, man. Man, listen. Wipe your
I wasn't
mouth.
even talking. I mean, I was really talking just about how pretty she was.
No, she is pretty. Yeah, I mean, you could say she could be a type. I don't really think I have a type though. You think I do?
I mean, you don't like white women that much.
So. Whoa! Why you running all the white women away? Why you?
Because I feel like if there was a line of like all of the races and shit, white is the last that you're picking for sure.
It would actually be Asian, but it is what it is. And don't you do it? Don't you do your
they're second to last.
Don't do your little Asian thing here. This is not your channel.
Listen, I told my parents about that, and they were like, "You can't say that."
I told you.
Bro, I don't give two shits about anyone thinking or wanting or going to cancel me. Like, listen, I'm living my best life regardless who fucking likes it. So I don't care.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. But anywho, yeah, like I said, I don't think I really have a parasocial relationship with anybody. There's some, like I said, there's celebrities that I would like to meet. Not too many, probably like maybe 3 or 4. But I don't think I would be like in this, like, oh, that's my friend, or I treat him as like a mentor. He's my big bro. Like, I don't think I would ever be on that level of like emotional connection. I think that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is a little weird, but at the same time, I don't know. Like you said, ever since especially COVID, people have grown so much into their phones. Like you can't expect anything really different from people when all they are doing is literally watching other people, watching what they're doing with their lives and the content that they bring, the entertainment that they bring, and they honestly don't even have a sense of who they are. So of course they're gonna fucking think of these twisted, delusional ass relationships.
Shut up, Lionel. I just seen this. What do you mean? I don't be posting nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. There was a there was a comment by Urban. I'm trying to find the question.
Oh yeah, the question that you wanted to ask.
And by the way, I don't be posting anything. I don't know what Lionel's talking about.
Right here.
You found it?
So
Oh yeah.
parasocial can lead to cult.
Yes, I think it definitely can. This is where you see people who start to like scam people to get thousands of dollars out of them or get them to open their homes to them. Absolutely, I think that parasocial relationships can lead to a cult. Perfect example. I think this guy's in jail now, but have you, and I'm asking you, Lo, because you're just here. Have you heard of Nature Boy? Does that name sound familiar? Nature Boy?
I mean, it doesn't sound familiar, but I might know a face.
Okay. So there was a gentleman. He was a pro-black, extreme on the extreme end, and he went by Nature Boy. And Nature Boy was able to cultivate a community in South America. Now I don't remember exactly where they were, but ultimately this is something that they streamed online for years. And they would get donations, and there was all this drama. There were like people coming in and out of they were on a compound, and he's sleeping with all the women. And if you get married to a woman, he still has to sleep with them. It was just like a bunch of craziness, right? And it was such a phenomenon. It was such a phenomenon because people were watching this in live time, and these people were, building these like connections and sending them money and trying to dictate things. Like, I think that is probably one of the best examples we have of a parasocial relationship that has taken place.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could look at really any big streamers. Like, would you consider all of like the person's supporters and the fans that are sending them a whole bunch of money or, being there every day, waiting for their schedule to come out as parasocial?
No, I would not. Only if they begin to like think that like the streamer was like their friend or they knew them. Like, man, I've been with you since day one. You're like a brother to me. So here's, $2,000 to help you build your creator studio, and I love you. And then that person disappears for like a month, and they're like, oh, you abandoned me, and now I'm hurt, and I don't do in my life. Like that's what I think is weird. That level of shit. Where people start to overinvest in like the content or the person. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know who that Nature Boy is or whatever, but I mean,
Oh, you want to find out?
yep.
Yeah, he looked like your type too. Here we go.
Ew.
Ill? What? Just automatic ill?
Yes. What? Automatic ill.
Yeah. Well, we know your type.
Learned his sentence after being found guilty of rape. Great.
Hold on. Just let's watch the clip. Anyway, we'll talk about your type later.
Oh, actually, I think I know who you're talking about.
You seen him?
Did he have like?
Just watch the clip and then respond.
Okay.
It's only 50 seconds.
An alleged cult leader will now spend the rest of his life in prison after a jury found him guilty Friday on all counts, including rape. Elijah Bishop, also known as Nature Boy, was on trial for rape, false imprisonment, and 3 counts of sharing sexually explicit content on social media. Prosecutors say the crimes happened while he was a leader of a cult called Carbonation. Bishop spoke to the courtroom right after his sentencing once victims read their impact statements.
Is there anything else?
My heart light as a feather. I promise you I love you and I'm still here. I ain't miss one lick. I see what y'all doing and I want you to know I forgive you. And I see y'all in the end.
The DeKalb County judge issued the maximum sentence, sending Bishop to prison for life, plus 10 years without the possibility of parole.
So what do you think about that?
We've got.
Well, first off, I thought I was thinking of a different person. Unless this guy had like wives, it might be the same person, but I don't
Yeah,
think
he
so.
had wives. Yeah, I'll try to find like a clip of them while you're
Oh
talking.
yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
then it might be the same person I'm talking about. I seen one of like the ex-wives, or she got away, I guess, and she ended up like taking her son, and because like he got like a whole bunch of people drunk, and like the other women and himself drunk, and she acted like she was drinking, I guess, and she ended up like taking her and her son away from like the cult, and because they were in like a different country, I guess, and she ended up getting like her passport and a whole bunch of shit. I don't fucking know, but people like that are just kind of crazy. I mean, cult leaders like just don't make any sense to me. Like I feel like people really just like they are sheep. They like to, flock to what's being, what they hear. And they don't care to make their own decisions in life and like their own opinions. So people are stupid if they follow cult leaders, honestly.
I'm gonna play a couple videos, these shorts here of Nature Boy to give you just some context of this community and this individual.
You got life fucked up, no. And I'm highly upset about it. And they talking about they can't give them. And my spit went down the wrong fucking pipe. Motherfucker talking about they can only give them a store credit. Bitch, we don't live here. I need $145 for my day to go well. If not, y'all ain't gonna hear from me for about 3 days. Cause I'm fucking pissed. I'm pissed the fuck off in real life, nigga. Send me that fucking money. Y'all wanna laugh? Make it right. Send the money and say, here, Aya, you can have it. Da 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 da. And I'll be cool. Let me check my cash here.
What the hell is he talking
Send
about?
$145 be good. But I bet you none of y'all bitches will spend $145 on no fucking.
What the hell is he talking about?
He told his followers they need to send him $145 right now, or his day won't go well. Why is that funny?
That is funny because who the fuck do you think you are? The entitlement is crazy.
Yeah, but did you see the views on that clip?
Like 4 in the 400s.
Yeah, that's it. That's significant.
Right.
If you
People,
have 400 plus people in your chat, and you're telling me send me $145, there's a good chance he can make that pretty quickly.
yeah, but I don't know. Shit like that. Like I'm all for supporting, streamers and people who take the time out to bring other people entertainment and things of that sort, of course. But even before people knew that he was a cult leader, like I just feel like there's certain people that you can just listen to, and even if it doesn't necessarily sound dumb, like, and there's multiple red flags. Entitlement, like the way that they talk to people, the way that they fucking view their self, or just like how they talk, period. And I could just never, I don't know, like when I just like listened to that, it just sounded like people are watching because they want to see a crash out or something, not like he actually had people who are willing to send $145.
But see, that's the thing, though. People were watching it like, I know these people. These are my family. There were people flying in and out of South America to live with those folks. Like this was something that went on for a couple of years. And
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm telling you, man,
That's
you'd be
what I said.
surprised.
Like those people really don't have their own input on their own lives, and if they do, they're choosing to obviously listen to absolute trash.
I'm gonna have a question for you in a minute, but let me just play this because this just shows him.
I mean, and let's just be honest, like women are obviously fucking stupid. They'll listen to anything with a good dick. Like,
Uh-oh. What do you mean by that?
what do you mean? What do I mean?
You said they will listen to anything with a good dick? Wow.
Yeah, like I mean, it's the same thing when like people say women or men are pussy whipped. Like men and women both do stupid ass shit for people that they're in love with, or they're blinded by the sex or whatever you want to say.
Have you been in that situation?
I mean, to some extent, yeah, I can admit that, but it's never been any type of like, oh, stay with the person as they're cheating on me, or stay with the person after doing like something that crosses my boundaries. Never that.
Okay. Fascinating.
She know how to touch me. She ain't afraid to touch me. Some of them be afraid to touch me. They don't even touch me. But not her. She's gonna get pregnant. Yeah.
Is this not so cringy to watch?
Leave me.
Making your
You,
skin crawl listening
you
to
don't want
that.
to. You don't want to rub on him.
Ew, absolutely not.
He, yeah, you do.
No, I don't. Don't say that.
You don't want to join Carbon Nation.
No.
We got our light skinned queen joining the
Ew.
nation. She want to get pregnant. Ew.
He said she finna get pregnant. Ew. That just literally, I'm not even joking, that like gave me the most cringiest feeling I felt in a while.
Oh man. But he's got it though. What do you think it is about him?
Send it to the email. My penis is growing. That's your feedback. My penis is growing.
Stop this right now. Hearing someone talk like that is fucking disgusting. Ew.
Now, I never pre-watched these clips, so I don't know what he's about to say. I just know him.
He said my penis is growing.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, the blood's flowing. Hey.
Ew, and I don't know. I couldn't tell you honestly what that man in particular has, but there's a lot of men out there like that. So,
but do you think it's just men? Do you think it's just men though?
No, I didn't say that.
So, what do you think a person like this? How do they get like this? What is it?
Like, how did he get like that, or how did the people follow
anybody,
him?
anyone who acts like this?
Ego, demons.
There it is.
You know, fucking not having good parenting, whatever, no communication skills, thinking what they know is right and what they say is right, what they think is right, shit like that, you know.
Yeah. Trauma and demonic.
No, yeah, I mean, we can get into that for sure, but like there's a lot of shit that I feel like, you know, people definitely get tired of hearing me probably say that, but like there's so much shit out there that's demonic, so we don't have to necessarily get into that conversation.
You know, I think people follow individuals like him because they are they're lonely, and their loneliness like leads them to seeking a community or a belonging. I don't know if I've ever told you this. So I have a concept that I built on from one of my schools of psychology. So with one of my degrees, I study what's called Adlerian psychology. And there's this concept called the universal goal, hence the name. And the universal goal, everybody's universal goal is to seek three things. And we do this in our own unique ways, but we're always attempting to seek these things. We seek security, we seek significance, and we seek belonging. And when I look at people who join Carbon Nation, or even people who think that they have a deeper relationship with even a person like yourself who's a content creator, but you're not huge, it definitely can be a thing that ends up happening a lot. And what they want from these individuals, and they find, I think, all three of those elements in the relationship. So they find belonging. I'm a part of community. Think about just when I'm on your channel, and like I've heard people say, like, "Oh, Universal was the first person who showed me any love in the chat." Like, he said, "What's up?" to me. Like, that means something to people to just be acknowledged in the chat.
It does, absolutely. But that makes me like on just like the opposite side of it. It makes me just feel bad though, because people really like don't have anybody out there to talk to or just have a relationship with. And like it makes me feel good to be able to like give someone that experience of just like love and friendship, but at the same time, taking it to that next level, obviously of a parasocial where you think you know me and like you have these expectations, that's when shit kind of gets weird. And then like the empathy moves and just adjusts a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. So, and I'm gonna ask you a question about that, but I want to flesh this out a little bit, just a little bit more. It's like people want that significance, right? Why do I matter? And if I can matter to this person who's so important, who has all these followers, who does all this stuff, that means something to me. And then it's the belonging piece. It's like, this is my group, this is my community, this is my squad, or whatever. I think that shit goes a long way for people. And a lot of times, if you're missing one of those things or all of those things, you really find yourself in a very like detrimental position. Like you're just lacking. Like you need help, you need support.
Facts. And that obviously applies to one's real life. So
Yep, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
definitely, because I definitely agree with you. You said security, belonging, and what?
Significance.
Significance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why do I matter?
No, I definitely feel that because like before I really got into God, I had just like a long period of my life where just I did not know what my purpose was or what I was even doing here or anything like that. And I would say that was probably one of my biggest things because security, I mean, even to this day, I'm secure within myself, so that hasn't really been a problem for me. And like belonging, I've always been a one tootin' band, one drum man band, whatever. But the what did you say again?
Belonging.
No, not
Significance.
belonging.
Oh, significant.
Significance. Yeah, the significance, like that one was definitely a big one for me. So I can see how that, if you don't have that in your life, it's gonna make you feel just a little lost or, you don't really know what's going on. You don't have a grasp in life.
Hmm. Yeah. I think a lot of these people they find this online, right? They get a name that they created for themselves. They like it. Then this person who has a following acknowledges them. Hey, what's up? Lola. What's up? It's like,
See, now why you say it like that? Because that made me
that's
think
how
of
people say it when they like you.
that made me think of Danny.
Exactly. That's why I said it like that. Lola. So
I love
they get to say that name. Danny Lakers. Danny gets to, see a woman of his dreams, acknowledge him, right? They might hit that cash app, they might hit that super chat, whatever. But at the end of the day, what they feel is something that they probably haven't felt in real life, which is the messed up part about it. It's like, damn,
Mhm.
it's like they get a feeling out of that.
And
It's
just
just
like,
more.
you mentioning him, I mean, we can take the whole, situation just as an example, obviously when he didn't feel that he belonged,
Yep.
it upset him and he ended up leaving the server and YouTube, and I'm not YouTube altogether, but at least my channel. And it made me just feel bad because I'm like, no one obviously intended for you to feel unbelonged and I don't think well, there was a couple people now I'm thinking of the whole situation. He did
Yeah.
talk N-word, so
Yeah. He went crazy. What?
yeah, I forgot about that. But but just all together, like I get it. You definitely like need those three things in life for sure.
Yeah.
So
Again,
like
it's a
that's like I just said, like, emotions are valid, feelings are valid, but that's why it's like you can't control anybody else, but you can control yourself. You can control your own feelings and how you let them react and how you let them show with your actions. So that's all you can do.
mm, mm. So how do you do that then? Like, think about yourself. How do you do that?
What, get your emotions under control?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you
I
do it?
mean, obviously, we could go into, of course, what I want to say, God helping and, spiritual side of things, but, some people obviously don't believe in that, so that's cool. I would say just having your own type of discipline and, like, putting yourself in situations of, testing your patience, testing your nerves, just conditioning yourself to, like if a situation pops up, that being, your first thought is thinking, oh, how is this person going to feel or how am I going to respond instead of just blurting out whatever you want to say. Like that's how personally I felt myself. So
Okay. Do you know the difference between emotions and feelings?
no, I don't know.
And I'm not trying to mess with I'm not trying to mess with you.
I know it was an actual question, but like I don't
You're
even feel
like,
like thinking that
leave
hard
me
right now.
alone, Universal. Leave me
I
alone.
don't even feel like thinking that hard right now, honestly.
Oh my God, you're just a girl. You're just a
I
girl.
am. I am.
I'll tell you. I'll do the thinking in the relationship. How about
I mean, what can I say? I'm just a girl.
that?
What can I
Urban,
say?
I'll bring you up in a second, sir. I see you. I'll bring you up in a second. All right. So emotions. Emotions are a state of mind, or sorry, a mental state that arises spontaneously rather than through conscious effort. Okay. And it's often accompanied by a physiological or behavior change in the body. So, what that means is when you have an emotional, it's pretty much a reaction and you can't control it. You can't say, I want to be sad right now, or I'm going to be happy right now. Like you can say it, but you can't change the emotion. You can do things to influence it, but you can't change the emotion. So emotions are a mental state that arises spontaneously. Your mood, your mood is a particular state of mind or outlook on a particular time. Okay. So like you said, I'm just a girl. Girls monthly get their menstrual cycles. And I've been around you for about a year now. And when you get your menstrual cycle, you're a monster. We'll say that. I'll call you a monster.
Yeah, that's
Respectfully.
the nicest thing you could call me.
Yeah, respectfully.
Respectfully.
And usually it's not even when you get your period, it's like a week before. Your mood gets crazy, bro. I'm like, I don't even know this woman. Like, I don't even want to talk to her. Don't ever call me. Like, what the who is
I'm
she talking?
bad, but I'm not that bad. Come on now, don't do that.
You have been.
I
We've seen
mean,
we've
but
seen
like
you.
let's really consider what my bad is. What, like having a little bit of a fucking attitude and not wanting to
Nah,
talk?
bro.
That is not that bad.
We've seen you on stream. We got people in this chat that can vouch for your
Because
attitude
people
on
be
stream.
trying to fuck with me, Universal, and you know that.
But we're talking about just me and you. I'm not even talking about everybody else. I'm talking about me and
Oh,
you.
what?
How you treated me on stream before?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I
Yeah.
mean, what can I say? I don't.
Women, man, they got a built-in fucking excuse and no accountability. It's amazing. Anyway,
I mean, I just admitted it. Yeah, I did do that, but there's no excuse for it. So
yeah, you're one of the few that will admit it. I do appreciate that about you.
I try.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All
So
right, you can
mood
bring. I was
again.
gonna say you can bring Urban up if you want.
I'm gonna bring him up in a second. I'm gonna finish the definition. I'll bring him up again. Mood is a particular state of mind or outlook at a particular time, and then feelings or feeling is an emotional state or reaction, an awareness by your body. That's the difference. But we usually mix all three of those things up, but there are separations between the three. All right, we're gonna bring Urban up because we've kept him in the back way too long as me and you go back and forth giggling about absolutely nothing. This is just a chill stream. I don't know if people are gonna learn anything. We're just hanging out for the night. I'm gonna get you in a second, Mike. What's up, Urban?
What it do? What it do? Low, what's up with it?
What's up with you, Urban? How are you?
I'm good, chilling, copacetic on this Saturday.
Good.
That's good for you. How are you liking the conversation so far?
Oh yeah, it's a real good conversation. I'm glad that Universal is talking about parasocial relationships because I believe this is a conversation that a lot of people need to talk about.
Yeah, it's a reality, man. I think especially for the last 2.5 generations, the second half of millennials, the Gen Zers and these alphas, they are definitely building a relationship with people that they will probably never meet in person, like serious relationships.
Mm-hmm. Urban, do you have any? Would you say any parasocial relationships?
Well, I had one. I didn't know I was in one, but that's that.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
What
do,
about
do,
on just
yeah,
the
do,
opposite side? Like, do you view anyone in a parasocial way?
No, because if we talking about on social media, no, because everyone that I met on social media, if they know me, we actually talk. You know what I'm saying? We would talk off of on social media, so we actually have actual relationship versus a parasocial relationship. But my subscribers over there at my channel, yeah, definitely it was a parasocial relationship over there for real. And I didn't even know what that was. But there's that.
Do you want to explain it a little bit? Like, was it a like a stressful situation to deal with, or was it something that you didn't really have to like put too much, care into thinking about this person, or like was it bad?
Well, when I'm doing my show online and stuff, right, I'm not too much thinking about relationships. All I'm doing is thinking about putting out the content. But within that, it's like a different, expectations behind it. Like you got to appease your audience, and with you doing that, your audience or subscribers developing a relationship with you without you really aware of that it's a relationship. And so that's what was happening with me, that through my subscribers, they started developing a relationship with me, and it became parasocial. But in my mind, I'm not thinking about it as being parasocial at all.
Okay.
And so
Universal.
one day, I end up they say I end up switching up and changing my content around. And when I start changing my content around, they didn't agree with it. They was trying to get me to resort back to original content that they felt comfortable with, and I wouldn't do it. Then,
That is kind of a little crazy. Universal, do you have any input on that?
Yeah, I actually have a question, but I'll follow up with that in a second. But Urban, I'm going through a similar dynamic myself with my own channel. I know most of my subs, and salute to the 600 who subbed. Most of them, they were subbing to me when I was a lot more pro-black than I am today, and I was pretty much a part of the conscious community. At one point, I was going to change my name. It was pretty deep, and I know since, I would say honestly, since about 2022, 23, my content has shifted slightly. And I know that my audience is like, wait, what are you talking about? But I like to present it in a way that it's not blaming or shaming or attacking nobody. It's like, think about this. Like this, think about what I'm saying here. But to the average non-pro-black person or pro-black people, they'd be like, I'm a coon. I'd be like, I'm not cool. I love black people.
Well,
But
universal.
go ahead, Mike.
Well, people are going to hate you whether they agree with you or not. You got to get used to that.
Yeah, I'm used to it. I don't let it bother me. I mean, one of my number one haters is in the chat right now. I don't even know why he hates me. He hates everybody.
Yeah, but universal. I did come on your show because I wanted to. I heard the conversation going on.
Yeah, what do you think about parasocial relationships?
Well, what I really think, I've been married for 9 years, and I think it's all about communication, and you have to. Well, a lot of men don't understand that you really have to listen to your lady, whether you agree with it or not. Just listen. Happy wife, happy life. You heard that before, haven't you?
Yeah, I heard it before. It didn't work for me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but it don't work for everybody, and but it worked. It worked for me, and I've been happily married for 9 years.
Well, congratulations to you, Mike. I mean, I love to hear, relationships working out. Obviously it doesn't work out for everyone in the world, but both parties have to be willing for sure. And it sounds like, you have a good relationship. So I'm happy to
Yeah,
hear that.
it's all about communication, Lo.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about communication, and a lot of these people get on YouTube and hurl, and a lot of these people get on YouTube and think. Well, let me rephrase that. A lot of these people, they come on here, and it's the internet. People are going to lie to you. People are going to tell you whatever. You don't know these people from Adam. But what they won't tell you is, and they mad when somebody do tell you. They get mad when somebody says they have a happy relationship. They get mad at that.
So Mike, you're talking about intimate relationship, but what about relationships that people form online? Like they might not know these people, they may never meet them, but they feel like they're a cousin or brother or best friend. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, I think I really think it's stupid. I get your question, but I really think at the end of the day, it's stupid. You meeting people online, but you have to meet these people in person to really understand. To really understand how someone thinks, you know. But a lot of people call me crazy because they don't like my voice. You know, a lot of people that what they say, Mike 123. I don't like how you speak, and I let me be real. I am who I am. I didn't choose to be this way. I can't help how I speak. That's
That's
why a
right.
lot of people hate me. A lot of people hate me on these YouTube streets
A
because
lot,
I keep it real.
yeah. Hey man, a lot of people hate on these YouTube streets. Lolo's hated. She don't even do nothing but look cute on camera.
Well,
That's it.
I don't even know. Lolo, I seen you a couple of times before on different channels here and there. I don't think you're a
Yeah.
bad person, but what I will tell, some advice I would give you is I think you should, and Universal Jones. I'm not trying to step on your toes, my brother. Just so we clear.
You good? Go ahead.
And I just think, uh, don't listen to all this rhetoric that people says about you, Lolo. You can do whatever you set your mind. You can do whatever you set your mind, and it doesn't have to be about Universal Jones like in Lolo or that Universal. They call you Laptop Jones, just to be clear.
Salute. Yeah.
They call you that, and it
Mhm.
pisses, yeah, it pisses me off because
No, no.
I think,
Don't let it make you mad. It's okay.
yeah, but Universal Jones, I think, yeah, I hear you. I be listening to you on John Galt's channel sometimes, and I respect you, brother. But what I will say, don't let these people get in your head. You got to go for what you want, my brother. If she don't respect it, it's a million motherfuckers out here, Universal. My bad for cussing.
You're good.
If she can't respect how you feel towards her, or
Uh
vice versa, or vice versa, I'm not saying y'all trying to get with each other. I'm not saying that, Universal.
oh. Okay.
All I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, what I'm really trying to say is, Universal. I know you have some level of respect for Low, and people hate
Oh,
on you. People
yeah.
hate on you. Universal, you gonna get talked about. Lolo, you gonna get talked about. But don't listen to these fools. You got to do what makes you happy.
No, I definitely agree with you. I can say for certain that I definitely don't let what anyone says on the internet get to me at all. And I definitely do what is best for myself and what I want to do in my real life. But, it's just funny to hear, I guess, what people like to make up or what they'll say about you just from their own perspective.
Right. And they never met you from Adam. That's why I try to tell these people on the YouTube street. A lot of people don't like me, like I said prior. A lot of people don't like me because the way I talk and this and that. I can't help the way I was born. Can't help that.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming up.
But
And
I'm trying to say,
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I've been happily married for
I
9
see you
years.
later.
I'm trying to give you some advice.
Oh, please. I need it.
And it all boils down to communication. You got to shoot your shot, whether you think you're good enough or not. Shoot your shot. You never
That's
know.
right.
People
Shoot or
get
shoot.
other people get in people's head and make them not want to do something. I don't understand that. Other people they start talking all this rhetoric that they spill, and they make people at least online, because everybody online nowadays, and and I think that's one problem. Everybody gets so pumped up by what every other person says, but you can't think on your own. You have to think on your own. Universal is what I'm really trying to say. I've been drinking.
I
I'm gonna
got
keep
you.
it real.
Well, cheers. Hold on. Pause for a second. I'm gonna ask Lil a question. I'm gonna bring Lionel up. So he kind of got to a place where a good question was gonna come up. And the question is, does Universal make you happy, Lo?
Absolutely.
All right, there we go. Lionel, sir, how are you doing?
That's what's it. I'm glad Lolo keep it real. That's what I'm glad.
Yeah.
All the
Hey,
time.
hey,
That's the
hey,
only way.
Universal.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Universal. Can parasocial relationship also be intimate? Can that
Yes.
exist
Yes.
one and the same?
Yes. It's not one and the same, but I think there can be an element of parasocial relationships. So, for example, And this is something that has led to a little bit of chaos over the last couple of weeks. But I do think there's something about opposite sex dynamics where people invest a lot of time in a thought leader, content creator. I'll say content creator, that's probably a better term. From the opposite sex. I think that you can definitely build some intimate relation or intimate emotions in those situations. Absolutely.
Yeah, because in the chat, I put in there that it was a content creator known as Angela D. Goddess. She created a online coke community named Daddy's Girls. And so basically what she is, she's a stud. And basically what she is, she recruit women who are insecure, women who feel like that they're overweight, and she'll recruit them and have them, donated to her and pretending that, she loved them and actually in an intimate relationship with them, but in reality, she's not.
Yeah, I think a lot of parasocial relationships can get to a level of intimacy, especially if you don't have it from anyone else. And think about the investment of time that you pay attention to, people get invested in, and they pay attention to that individual, and they pay attention to their habits and what they do, what they don't do, what they like. Like, I absolutely, you can get into an intimate space, even if it's one-sided. Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed. What made me thought about this because what Mike was saying earlier about his relationship with his wife.
Well, the deal with me and my wife, we have an understanding. At some point, I don't hassle my wife. We talk about everything. I don't hassle my wife. She takes my kids. They do what they do, and I work hard all week. So she allows me to have free time. And that's why I join these panels. I try to teach people something that a lot of people are not used to having, and a lot of people don't like it because I tell the truth.
Yeah, definitely part of it.
Because I was told my voice, just because the way I sound, I've been told a lot of stuff, but reason why people don't like me on the YouTube streets, they think I'm idiot. They don't like the way I sound and all this and that. It don't rub me the wrong way. I just think people are idiots.
Yeah, we all get a little stupid at some point. So I did want to bring up the point of I think parasocial relationships are going to get worse than they are now. And I'm going to bring up two recent examples that I've seen, that I've come across over the last 2 days to kind of prove this point. I'm going to reference sports here. So today was college football's big game day. There's still some good games on right now. We have a lot of ranked team opening up the season. And I seen a commercial that I actually seen an advertisement with earlier this week. And it was for the eyeglasses company Warby Parker. And I don't know if folks are familiar with Warby Parker, but ultimately they're an online eyeglasses business where you can try on glasses before you put your prescription in, etc. Nice business. I actually have been a patron of Warby Parker for quite some time. But they had hit a big splash recently because they became the #1 NIL sponsor of Arch Manning, who's one of the most focused on quarterbacks right now in college football. He's the nephew of Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. So Arch Manning has a Warby Parker commercial, and I seen a commercial earlier. I heard about this deal, and I thought it was like, man, that was a pretty smooth commercial. They really put him out front to sell this product that a lot of people, it was more like a niche product, but they're going more mainstream. So they went and got the #1 college football player. They also put a sports edge to it because you don't really get that from the brand. Okay. So that's one, was the Arch Manning piece. The second thing that I seen was a conversation with Mark Cuban was having with Gilbert Arenas on Gilbert Arenas podcast. And they were talking about the difference between owning teams now and play and how the fans view teams versus players. And he said now most fans are invested in players and not teams. So as a lot of people would grow up as a Chicago Bulls fan or LA Laker fan, those people are more like LeBron fans or Luka Doncic fans or whatever. They have more fan base relationships with these individuals versus the teams. And what that happened, what that gave me was, I was like, oh man, we're at a peak place where people are going to start analyzing any person that they find value in their content, which is going to put a lot of responsibility on humans to show up for people and be there consistently. But what does that do for society where we start to idolize individuals who may not offer anything but a voice? I don't know. What do you all think?
You're probably not asking me, right? Because
Well, I think
I'm asking you.
universal.
Go ahead, Mike.
Universal. I think that you hit on a couple of things, but I really think you can't worry about what other people think. That's what I think. That's a big problem. You can't worry about. You can't live your life work because, well, you can't live your life according to how somebody wants you to live your life. If you get what I'm saying.
I do get what you're saying. My only thing with that is this: like, a year man of a certain. When did you graduate high school, Mike?
I graduated in 2004.
All right, got you. So you're part of an older generation that didn't grow up fully with technology like we are right now. And for these young people, they do have to worry about what other people think. It's a part of their existence. Now, I'm not saying it's right, but it is a reality for them where their image is just as important as their character. Even if people don't know them, it's still very important. But what do
Yeah,
others think?
So to be honest with you, social acceptance is embedded in all of us, regardless of the one generations. Um,
Agreed.
even at my age, I not find it hard for me to be a part of that particular social norm because I'm like low. I'm normally by myself. I'm normally the black sheep, the outsider, the one who thinks outside of the box. But even when I do that, I tend to end up being part of certain circles where people are like-minded, like how the way I think, and we end up having this social bonding or pro-social relationship, like I was saying earlier. So it's something that it can be something that it could be positive if you view it as positive, if the people who are around you it view it as positive as well, but it also could be something negative too.
Absolutely. What other
but
people think?
Lolo, if I may ask you a question,
yeah, go ahead.
why do you feel like you get so much hate on these YouTube streets?
I feel like a lot of it is I guess you could say reflection or even to some extent jealousy, but it's not jealousy as in my looks or anything like that. I think it's just the way that I live my life and I kind of have, an easy life, but I also make it that way. A little bit of it, of course, is by what I was just born up with, but I don't have kids. I don't have anything tying me down, a lot of things, but it's also by choice. And when people see that and they had, let's say children at, you know, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then 3 kids by, 25, and they see me 24 years old out here doing kind of whatever I want to do, that could be a little envious to them. But I mean, to other stuff, it's really just, I feel like internal issues. I
I can
honestly don't know because I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty cool person, but at the same time, obviously, I'm biased to myself because why would you not be your own best friend? But I don't know, maybe they have their own reasons for sure.
I can understand that. And Universal, if I may ask you a question,
Sure, go for it.
why do you feel like people pick on you so much for you wanting to talk to Lolo? I don't understand.
I don't know. Probably. I think. Well, from what I've heard, the biggest thing is my age. So the age gap between me and her.
But does
Um,
Lolo have a problem with that?
do you have a problem with that, Lolo?
No, I mean, obvious, and that's one thing, people we try to tell people all the time, we have our own separate outside of, YouTube and Discord relationship, but if that was an issue, you know, I wouldn't be speaking to Universal in the first place. So
Right, and that you know that I can understand that. I just don't understand people's way of thinking. You know, I see you guys. You guys get a lot of hate on these streets.
It's all love.
It's sad. It's sad.
When they go low, we go high.
if facts, we get high. Okay, we don't go high, we get high.
And it's truly sad because I feel like if it's meant to be, it'll happen, whether you want it to happen or not.
That yeah, I definitely agree with that. That's probably my biggest thing that I say to myself every day. You know, even if
But
it's just a
Lolo, you be
small
having
situation.
people,
Go
you be
ahead.
having people, you be having people just crushing over you, and it's crazy.
It's really crazy though, because like, especially over like the last few months, like I have not been active in the YouTube streets at all, and you know, I don't make my presence aware, and people still talk about me like I'm here every day or something. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
very
that's what I'm saying. Like it's crazy that at least Universal got the courage to talk to you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, if people actually like try to get to know my regular self, my real self, because I'm not gonna say like, oh, I put a persona on for YouTube or anything, because it's not like that. I just like, you know, I try to come off more quiet. Hold on one second. I gotta mute myself. Hold on.
Universal, I just don't want you to feel like you gotta listen to these motherfuckers on here telling you not to do something that you really want to do. You gotta stick that everybody live their own life. You gotta
No,
go for
absolutely.
what you want, my brother.
Hey man, absolutely. And again, I introed the show with a lot of people think that I have a parasocial relationship with Lo, but it may have started online, but I actually know this woman offline. So it's a whole different thing. But again,
Universal.
What's up?
You brought up the coming disconnect that's happening, or the ongoing disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
You're not that much older than me.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, how recent is this? Because if you go back at least 30 years, people were playing a character in the streets.
Correct.
People were playing their representatives and putting them on the forefront in school,
Correct.
workplace, and they're still doing it. So
Yeah.
when people treat the internet like, oh man, you know, it's not real life, people are playing an act, what's different than the streets? Because these people still lie. They still put on an act, a persona. A lot of people like to say they don't, but a lot of people don't realize how much of a liar they are.
Correct.
Because they don't do their own self-reflection.
Correct. And I think what online has done is it has created closer relationships, but people have gotten away from themselves more. So if you think of it like a pendulum, they've swung away from who they are as an individual, and they come closer to a connection point, even if it's a false connection or maybe not fully connected. It's a parasocial relationship, and they got away from who they really truly are. It's fascinating.
But how can they get away if they didn't know to begin with, though?
That's
I've talked to definitely
man. Yes.
I'm just saying, I've talked to my share of adults when I was younger, and these people cannot have conversations.
Correct.
You ask the real shit, these people don't know how to respond. But then you can talk. You've heard me talk, and you hear the talking points I have.
Yeah.
People still, grown people,
they run.
Have those conversations.
Yeah, they run from it. It's too upsetting because it really gets at your core and it challenges your morality. So, you know, if you don't say anything, you accept it. And if you do say something, you have to have some accountability in how those things happen. So it's a fascinating dynamic. But your original question to me was how new is this, or how long do I think this has been going on? And when I was talking to Lo one-on-one, I was getting kind of at this I think it really started towards the end of the 90s going into the 2000s, where we got this social shift that took place where people started to be more isolated from each other. Now, remember back in those days, we had AIM and all this stuff with chat rooms and these things that just started to create spaces where people could restart themselves. They could find who they are truly, or they can be a little bit more relaxed so they didn't have to do it face to face. So I think this started about 25, a little, maybe 30 to 25 years ago.
We really had the best generation, if you want to be real.
Oh, facts. I can't argue with that, Mike, for sure.
Because we used to write letters in school. We used to write letters. We didn't have all the. We used to argue over the home phone. Well, I don't know if you guys remember
Yep.
Southwestern Bell or AT&T.
Yep.
We used to have the home phones, and me and my siblings used to argue because we didn't have fucking social media, cell phones. We didn't have that.
Mike, was the phone bill in your name?
It was not.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're getting at.
I think our generation was dark as hell.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you guys produced Juice World.
Yeah,
And,
you had to conversate with it in person. You couldn't hide behind a keyboard or like you can do now.
Oh, the streets was lying. The streets always was lying.
say more about that. How about the streets lying?
The streets was always lying. Plenty of pretenders in the streets. Plenty of illusion. They was always doing, and you had plenty of followings that followed the liars. It's just that the streets had a habit of finding out later on how much of a liar you was. But the streets was always lying.
Yeah.
So I think the only difference between being out in the streets and being on social media is that we take on a different name. Like, for example, with myself, everyone would say that I act exactly how I act online. If you were to meet me on the streets, this is exactly how I act for real. But there are other people who are not like that. They're not that transparent with themselves, where they take on a different persona. So, like, even in my situation, the only thing that's different with me is just the name, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But other people, they take on this whole new persona, where they become something that they know good and well that they're not, and they do it because what we're talking about right now, parasocial bonding.
Yeah.
They may not be getting that type of fulfillment in the streets versus on the social media streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
yeah.
Let me ask you all a question. Do you think that parasocial relationships are a response to failed family dynamics? And what I mean, go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead. What do you mean by that?
Do you think that the reason why we are seeing this uptick in parasocial relationships is because people have difficult or complex family dynamics, like with their nuclear family, parents, siblings, etc.?
I think that's a big I think that's a big problem, and I think a lot of people struggle with that. They're not going to admit it to you. I think that's a big problem, because if people really had those type of family dynamics, they wouldn't get on here, or in the real world they wouldn't get on and say some of the stuff that they say. It's just some stuff. Well, Universal, you made a good point just a few minutes ago, and I'm just to go back on it, if I may. A lot of these people, what was that? Oh, I think that was probably an old boy. Well, Universal, I've been drinking. Let me get my thoughts together, but I know what you're talking about.
All right, well, just pause for a second, Mike. Let's get some other voices in there. Somebody, go ahead, Urban. I see you on mute.
So I'll say yes, because different people go through different things, in their household. You may have a family who have a nuclear household where it's husband, wife, children, dog, picket fence, and all this stuff there, right? And then you have other people, family dynamics where it's not like that, where it may be toxic, but even then, when people come on to these type of spaces and create this parasocial relationship, it'd be a form of relief for them. It'd be a form of, well, I'm not getting this in this particular dynamic, so I could get it elsewhere. And so that's what they do. They'll seek it in these particular spaces and develop these parasocial relationships. Then on top of that, if you end up actually becoming a content creator, you're being incentivized for it too, with the super chats and other gifts that they give you too. Sometimes people be literally delivering gifts to them at their PO box and stuff, buying them lunch and all kind of stuff.
Oh, we know, sending them microphones and laptops and PlayStation,
Yeah.
all types of
Yep,
shit.
all kind of stuff. And to be honest with y'all, I find it difficult for me to be online because I have a nuclear household right now. So I literally have to make a schedule for me being online. Then I also have to make a schedule for me on, being with my family as well too. So it could all be balanced out.
What do you think, Lionel?
I mean, I gotta actually investigate the situation personally because being in the education system, I mean, what exactly was the household really doing? You look at the last 30, 40 years, and then you look at where we're at now. And the modern parent has literally put a leapfrog in front of you and walked away, put a tablet in front of you and walked away, laptop, computer, iWatch, iPhone, pick something, and they've walked away. Then they got the nerve to say they parented. Most of these parents are trash, and the education system shows it. They'd rather have someone else trying to raise their child than them doing it themselves, but then pretend like they're giving any valuable lessons. So I have to question the quality of the family to begin with, because most of them are being educated on their phone or by someone else or the environment. Some in the streets, but it damn sure not their family in the household.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely environmental. That's why I started earlier by saying that it does really depends on the dynamics of the family and what they're going through, physically, mentally, even spiritually.
Absolutely. I think it affects their worldviews as well. Like,
For sure.
and it's sometimes it's hard to shift because of what I think. I don't know who said earlier. Might have been Low, or no, I think it was you, Urban, actually, where you were like, people get incentivized to idolize these people, and then they get connected through that incentive, incentivizing them, seeing super chats getting put on the screen, stuff like that. It's general human psychology things, but those things are things that they don't get in their own families. They don't get that encouragement, that acknowledgement, that praise.
Wait.
So when,
Because when I
Mhm.
hear that, I can contradict that when I look at MS-13, some Rolling Dove, some Brim, some Pyru. These
Okay.
people, a lot of them do get encouragement from their family, and they still shift over to one of these leaders. And now they out in the streets rolling bread, picking up vans. But they were
Sure.
getting that, but then they chose to disregard it.
Yeah. So then I would say, okay, then what were those variables or those factors that led them to still leave, being a part of that street life? And when I was answering the question, I was thinking more just towards engagement online, but
My bad.
we can expand it out because I think that's still important. But what entices those folks to get into that street life then?
Yeah, that's why I was saying earlier that you be incentivized. When you go out into them streets, you get incentivized that you can make more money. You necessarily don't have to have a 9 to 5 job. You could make X amount of money. Then that's where the parents start pushing back on that and saying like, no, you need to live this certain type of lifestyle that we want you to live. That ultimately the child end up pushing back on that, and next thing you know, they out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
But
let
the
me ask
parents,
you. Go ahead, Lionel.
the parents been pushing the kids on the internet. They've been doing it. They allowed it when MySpace was popping. They was already allowing it with AOL. You know, too many parents let you do it, and then they walked away.
Mm.
And now they're complaining for what they allow. And all they did was put more gadgets in these children's faces to constantly grow into a cyber world.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to ignore though. Lionel, everything
I
they
agree.
have well, not everything, but most of the things they engage with, technology wise, is connected to a Wi-Fi connection, has no buttons, and provides them access or not access, or they get denied access for things.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just
Low,
So,
go ahead, Urban.
so let me ask you a question. Since we all up here were pretty much creators, right?
Yep.
How do y'all feel about allowing children to create their own social media channels, such as YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and in relation to social relationship?
Me personally, I'm gonna say probably wouldn't let my child start social media just by my experience with it, even though it hasn't been completely horrible. I just have seen, the type of comments and people that are out here. But, there may be like, say, I was a continued streamer after I had kids or something, and it was like all wholesome, and, there's not going to be any like negativity or anything like forced on my children. I might add them in, or we can start their own little thing that's connected to me, but ultimately having like their own just channel or platform, I don't think I would allow that.
Yeah, so I find it interesting because my children, well, some of my children, they have their own social media. Some of them have an IG, others they have like a YouTube channel or whatever and stuff, right? And so I find it interesting because there are different levels to this. Like y'all familiar with Roblox, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So as of right now, Roblox is being sued right now. They have a class action lawsuit due to cyberbullying. Now the cyberbullying was happening through parasocial relationship where they're going to these rooms on Roblox and they be playing with each other, right? But at the same time, they be cyberbullying, as well too, and they be doing it also in a sexual explicit way where they be using these made up characters, and they have these characters going to this room and fake like they're, having sex with each other. And then they also be bullying each other and different things like that. So that's one element of that, right? Then another element is dealing with IG. Now I have a one daughter, right? She participated in competitive cheerleading. So she purposely have an IG that's dedicated to competitive cheerleading. But even within that, you get people on, her page where they be, they'll get jealous of her team, whatever, and they start cyberbullying and stuff, right? And she had other followers where they'll defend her because they love her team, and they develop like a pro-social relationship. But my daughter, my own wife, and I never met these people a day before my life, you know what I'm saying? But so it's different elements to that.
Yeah, that is kind of scary. I personally, even in my childhood, like I seen a lot of kids getting in trouble with, like I don't know like what you guys had back in the day, but we like when I finally did, young teenager, 14, 15, we had Kick, and a lot of kids would be on there talking to, grown ass men and sending back pictures and a whole bunch of stuff. And like I don't know, the internet, I feel like it's a bad place ultimately for kids because it's already so involved in, the world and our generations. So to let your kid like be obsessed with it and involved too much with it, because a little bit can be informative, educational to some sense, but overall I just feel like I don't know, it's just bad. I don't know how to explain it. It's bad.
Fascinating. Yeah, I actually have experienced the Roblox communication thing with my own child where well, I caught her talking to somebody we didn't know. It ended up being some kid from camp, but it still was problematic. So that definitely does happen. My children don't have social media. Like they're not on Instagram or Snapchat or any of those things. but they know about all of them and they still see them because those things, a lot of that leaks off into other platforms like YouTube. So they're
Mhm.
very aware of all those things. Like
And
if
kids are
something's
getting smarter and smarter every day. Like,
Mhm.
that's what's scary.
Yep. Like my kids figured out how to access, like even with the parental controls on like their iPads and stuff, they know how to punch in the passcodes and change everything and all types of stuff. So what the hell? They figure that stuff out, man. So, we can't underestimate their intelligence levels because they definitely are there. But I honestly think the second half of millennials, the Gen Zs, and these alpha kids, which my children are alphas, they're definitely gonna be a different engagement when it comes to relationships online. And I honestly think that most of their relationships will be parasocial. They're gonna find these creators who some give them some kind of connection back to significant security or belonging or a combination of all three, and they're gonna just that those are gonna be their quote unquote family, their family. Like, even think about like the concept of a friendsgiving. I don't know, have y'all seen a friendsgiving? Y'all familiar with that?
Like, where
Yeah,
you go
I'm
and,
familiar with it.
like, have Thanksgiving with your friends.
Correct.
I've had one of those before, yeah.
Oh God, how did I know?
But it was when I was like 14 or 15 years old, so 10
What,
years ago.
really? What are y'all cooking? Ramen noodles? What
No,
y'all
like,
make?
it was
Chicken
obviously
nuggets?
their family, it would be like
Oh,
their family would make something else, but we would all come together. But we also had like a Christmas, together, and we would like give each
yeah.
other gifts and
I see what
exchange
you're
and
saying.
stuff like that. Yeah.
And I know what you mean. Like people, like close family friends get together. Everybody
Yeah,
brings.
not like friends that you just see at school or something.
Yeah.
Like
So
friend
because
friend.
what that's where I was going was like there's like people who like they legit get with their friends and have these family like traditions and engagements, or they'll have two birthday parties, one with their really really close, parasocial friends or whatever, and then one with their family. They like split everything up because there's a different level of connection. I think over time those things are gonna blend together at some point, but we'll
Hmm.
see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, to me personally, it would like stay separate because I don't know, it seems like people they don't like people. The more like I hear more people every day talking about that they don't like people. So I feel like it's gonna continue to stay separate.
Understand.
Why don't we like, okay, so Lionel says understanding. Lo, you hear people say this more and more every day. Urban will have you chime in a second. Why do you all think that we're getting to this space and place where people don't want to be around other people?
Because we've lost just tradition and decency as fucking humans, if we're being honest. That's it.
Have you heard my life story?
Yes.
Yes.
You think I would like people?
We've been together.
Oh.
I damn near hate everybody. Just being honest. Everyone gives me a reason to dislike them.
Why does everyone give you a reason to dislike them, though?
People aren't worth trusting, and people show it very often. They're not worth trusting. But I also have a very pessimistic mindset when it comes to people. But people have a habit of proving me right.
Well, I think that if you got just a good couple of people, then the rest doesn't matter.
I don't know what a good person looks like, if I'm being honest. People lie very
Universal
often.
norms.
I don't know him.
That's true, but I don't know. I feel like there could be someone in your life that, has been there. They may or may not, say stuff that connects with you, but ultimately, like, they care for you. They probably pray for you. They hope that you do better, and they're there for you. So I feel like, yeah, most people, I can agree. Most people they don't care about you. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about what happens to you 100%. But there are people that come into your life that are just destined for you. They're supposed to have a part in your journey, and you're supposed to have a part in their journey. And there's good people out here. You just have to like be open, but still like you can have your walls up without completely, you know, completely having it sealed. Do you know what I mean? Like you can have your walls up, but you shouldn't have it completely sealed. There should be a couple opening points where you're able to peek out and check out somebody's character and see how they are, and you know.
So I live by the simple philosophy that I don't like people until they give me a reason to like them.
That's a good philosophy, I would say. I mean, I don't know. I'm usually trusting of people, but even when people fuck me over, like I don't ever hate anybody. You know, people do stuff for a reason, and like you said earlier, Urban, like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
So
facts.
whatever like is happening in your life, even to the smallest detail, that shit's gonna happen regardless whether you want it to or not. And you should just control, like I said earlier, your feelings and what's within your bubble and what you can touch and what you can, you can't make anybody else feel a certain type of way or control how they feel. So
Yep, yeah, facts. Now, keep in mind, I don't hate people unless they give me a reason to hate them. I
Mhm.
simply don't like them because I understand human behavior. Because we all human. We all do dumb things. All of us lie. Every last one of us lie about something. Whether if it's a white lie to protect, or we just blatantly lie.
Have
We
truth.
all do that. We all do that. So
Lola be
I just
lying on God.
understand. Yeah, exactly. So I just understand us for who we are, as human, and that's how the way I interact with people. That's why I said the moments ago that I don't like people until they give me a reason to like them,
mhm.
and that goes to what Lionel was saying earlier about the developing of the trust part and stuff. Sometimes even when you try to develop that trust, people be lying about that. They be disingenuous because they be trying to get something out of you.
Absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, so it's like really, really hard finding that diamond in the rough type of person or human being who generally does care and like you just because of you. You know what I'm saying? But when you do find that, by all means, you know what I'm saying, don't let that go at all, period. And
Yeah,
don't mess it up.
100%. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. It is, I would say, rare. Like they are diamonds in the rough for sure. But I don't know. Maybe me personally, I've had good people come into my life because I feel like it also depends on like just your mindset. Like you have to be open and willing to have good people in your life and for you to treat good or for you to treat people good also. And, just be better as a person, do good. So that's how you get to that ultimately.
Yeah, I get that and I understand that because I'm considered as I guess since we use the terminology good person, I'm considered as a good person because of the works that I do, because of my personal moral compass that I have within my life. I do treat people with respect, even though they don't deserve it. I do certain things to help people out, even though they don't deserve it. And also I do it without any expectation behind it. But however, sometimes me being a human being, um, sometimes I'll be feeling some type of way about that for real, where I'm doing all this and not getting nothing out of it in return. So
Mm.
and it will put up barriers for real, which that's why I can understand how the way Lionel feel, and I can understand how way other people would feel too when they have them type of barriers up in their life.
Yeah, absolutely. And no, I understand Lionel's point of view too. Just like I've been, obviously, I'm not going to say, oh, me and Lionel's situations are the same, but everyone can feel a sense of, um,
Empathy.
like just looking at the world in a certain way. And I've been there. And compared to where I'm at now, like I can say just from experience that it is better to just ultimately have a better mindset, even if, you feel like, oh, you're getting fucked over by people or people are treating you bad. But if you can only control what you can control, then you should choose to make your life the best that it is and be happy for yourself and not worry about what other people are doing or, how they're going to view you.
Hmm.
Yeah, correct. I agree.
What's up with you, UJ?
I'm thinking about what you just said. So, where do people get their validation from? And I know your answer before you give your answer, low, because we know you're gonna say God.
Okay.
Give me your second answer.
Where do I seek my validation? I mean, if it's not from
Not you
God,
specifically, but where do you think others, people, and salute to BB?
What do you? Okay, so you're saying like, where do I seek my validation in other people?
No, not you. Listen, not you. Other people. Where do you think other people seek their validation from?
Oh, either themselves, other people, obviously, their parents, people online, you know, their friends, literally. And you can say any type of relationship, honestly.
So
People
you
seek
see it
validation from everywhere.
like a pie chart, almost like a little slice here, a little slice there.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So I'll say this. I'll say that we're supposed to seek validation from ourselves first, but however, social norm have trained us to look for validation within the social network. You know, within our
Yep.
personal social network, wherever that is.
Yep. I agree 100%. Any thoughts from you, Line, on this before I dive in?
What Urban said.
Listen to Urban, he's smart.
I mean, it's not what I mean. Again, personally, my answer is, what I sought validation from was quite literally my mom. But I agree with Urban when you just talk about people in general.
Yeah. Urban, your comment, and I agree with it. It reminds me of a Kanye line where he said, I'm crowdsourcing my self-esteem. And I remember that because I remember at that time we were thinking about crowdsourcing and what that means. And that was just a creative line for him at the moment. But really, he was highlighting the parasocial bond between a fan and we'll say a creator, for lack of a better term. And we see people who off themselves. We see creators who, they self-delete, as we like to say in these YouTube streets. And a lot of that comes from when they don't get the same level of attention or they're not generating the same level of income or whatever. They say it's time for them to go. That devil get them. It's fascinating.
Yeah, facts. I agree.
It's fascinating.
Is it?
Interesting. What was my next question? I got another question. We'll get out of here soon. Let's see. I think we already answered that one. Oh, do you? So this kind of be our roundabout question. Do you all believe that we are at a point of no return, or can we reclaim real humanity and turn this thing around when it comes to parasocial relationships?
No, we're done.
Lionel says we're cooked.
We're absolutely done. The way modern parents are operating, they're ensuring their kids will be put into this situation. You have a few outliers here and there, but we're just going to keep this 100. Most parents are going to look at the easy route. The easy route is putting a tablet in front of their child and going about their business. It's too late.
Wow.
So let's add on an additional component to what Lionel was saying, right?
Go for it.
Of course, it's we're done, but we got to think about evolution too, the evolution of parasocial relationship. We all know that the evolution now is dealing with AI, artificial intelligence. So that is a whole new dynamics of a parasocial relationship that is developing right now before our eyes. So eventually, a lot of humanity is going to be relying on artificial intelligence as a form of parasocial relationship. We already see it happen right now as content creators, where you literally see content creators literally creating lives, but it's artificial intelligence throughout the whole entire live, or videos, and it's artificial intelligence throughout the whole entire video.
Wow. Yeah. There's a channel I've been listening to probably for the last 3 months. I'm pretty sure it's an AI voice over with these AI images, but the information is very constructive, and I like how the clarity in it. And it's probably all just ChatGPT. They just throw it together and throw it on YouTube. It's fascinating.
I personally, like, I agree with what they're saying, but I like to have a little bit of hope for humanity, I don't know, maybe there's more people out there than we think who want to do better, and it could just take the flip of a coin for you know, people to come together, something like that. I don't know, but ultimately, I don't know if I'm being realistic. That's a hard question just because I don't know. There's a
People don't
lot of
want to come together though. Most
Yeah,
people don't even know their neighbors.
that's a fact.
that is a fact.
I like barely know my name. Well, kinda.
I don't know. That's literally my answer. I don't know. I want to say like it's fucked, but at the same time, I have a little bit of hope for humanity, so it might turn out okay.
Interesting. It's something I'll be paying attention to. I always say I'm getting ready to make more content. And I am, but I'm gonna do more responses to videos and stuff. And I'm gonna be pointing out these parasocial relationships and how they show up. Like I think these show up in relationship fights and body cam videos and all types of stuff, but we might not recognize it all the time. So I'll be pointing it out as I go. But yeah, it's fascinating. Any final thoughts? We'll start with you, Lionel. Any final thoughts? Things you want to share, people, or things you want people to think about for you, sir?
I respect y'all optimism. I really do. But I've seen reality very differently. Just because you're a better person and uplifting and very positive, God will troll you very quickly. He'll definitely show you reality. And reality is dark. On the flip side, you got AI girlfriends also, AI boyfriends. That's another reason why we're done. Because people are searching it. People are going to it. That's the cure for a lot of people's loneliness. That's where it's going. And it's sad. But that's also reality right now.
Wow. A curated spouse. Interesting. Any final thoughts from you, Urban?
Well, Universal, once again, I appreciate you inviting me up to the panel to have this conversation. Continue to have this conversation because it needs to be heard. Because a lot of people don't even know what a parasocial relationship is. But and I appreciate that. My final thoughts in this particular decorum is that parasocial relationship, it could go either positive or negative, just depending on how the way you move with it. If you move it with it in a positive way, then yes, it could help people out. It could revolutionize people, where it can help them develop actual relationships as well too. But however, how the way it's moving in, these, as we call YouTube streets or social media streets or wherever the name you want to identify as, I done been in a lot of spaces where these same type of parasocial relationships is very, very negative, is very, very toxic. And so my advice is once when you recognize what it is, do your very best to discontinue that relationship.
Wow. Absolutely. And Lo, any final thoughts for you on parasocial relationships?
Honestly, no, I don't have too much issues with them. Like, yeah, they might be involved with what I got going on, but like I said, I don't really let that shit bother me because at the end of the day, like, that's not something that I think about. So ultimately, no, if you're in one or, you have something like that going on, I agree with Urban, just get yourself out, and the communication or whatever you want to say. But overall, Universal, I appreciate your panel. I thought today was a great show. So salute to you, sir. And salute to you, Lionel and Urban, of course, in the chat.
You too.
Oh, you too, Lo?
Yes, sir.
So, Lo, are you ready for an AI boyfriend? Because Lionel was talking about that. So I'm trying to figure out.
I mean,
That Gojo boyfriend.
listen. Um
So don't feel bad, Lo, because I got an AI co-host right now.
yeah. I probably wouldn't just because it's like just thinking about how much like typing I would have to do. Fuck no.
You don't want to program your man?
Absolutely not.
Oh, trad wife. All right. Fascinating. All right, folks, we're about to wrap up for today. We appreciate everybody for coming up. Thanks for stopping by. This was just impromptu, just having a little fun on a Saturday night. I hope everybody's doing well as we end summer, roll into fall. Get yourself right. Be safe. Be constructive. Be well. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.